There's a motorcycle race every year in Ireland, in the Isle of Man. It's called the Isle of Man Tourist Trophy. This race is insane. It's not on a track, it's on public roads, and it's about a 60-kilometer circuit over 200 turns and tight corners and hairpins and sweeping bends. And it's not on a track, so the roads are just normal tarmac and got manhole covers and it's got bumps, and it goes through towns and villages and the countryside and the mountains, and it's extremely dangerous. These roads are narrow, sometimes 3 to 5 meters wide in the villages. Between villages, it would be a two-lane road. There'll be walls and curbs and no runoff areas, and you'll have this, well, not a cliffside, but it'll be on a hill or a mountain with nothing to stop the person going off the road. And when they go through the villages, they might not see around what's around the bend. And the speeds are incredible. I mean, it goes up to 320 kilometers an hour. And just to give you an idea, the average rate at which we blink is 0.3 of a second. At 320 kilometers an hour, when you blink, you've traveled 20 to 25 meters. I mean, that's the length of your indoor swimming pool at the gym, just while your eyes are closed when you blink. So there are major crashes. Since it started in 1907, there have been more than 260 riders who have died. And the last year that they had a race without a fatality was in 1982. That's more than 40 years ago. And the problem is that the ambulances are too slow to catch up with a rider at a crash site to effectively give aid. And Northern Ireland didn't have at that stage an air ambulance, a medical helicopter. So in 2003, two doctors started racing with the riders. They were called the Flying Doctors. They were laden down with their gear, their trauma gear, their first aid gear, in a backpack and these big pouches that hung around their waists. And one of these doctors was called John Hines, and he was passionate about this. He raced not just at the Isle of Man race, but many other races in Ireland. He lectured in trauma science. He spoke at conferences. He recognized the need for an air ambulance. He campaigned for Northern Ireland to have an air ambulance. And in 2015, while he was providing medical cover at another race, he lost control of his motorcycle and he crashed into a wall, and he died from his injuries the next day. And the year after his death, on what would have been his 36th birthday, Northern Ireland finally announced that they would be getting an air ambulance. And this helicopter was named Delta 7, which was John Hines's call sign for the Northern Ireland Ambulance Service. So in honor of him, they named the helicopter after him, in a sense. And I watched the video of the funeral procession, and there were hundreds of motorcycles riding behind the hearse. And I got very emotional. I get very emotional when I see these displays of reverence for someone, especially after they've died. And I can't help but wonder, why do we wait until someone dies before we honor them? Is it what goes on? Is it that we think about it and then we forget? We think about doing it and then forget to do it? Or we think about, wow, this guy has such an impact, and nothing happens after that? Or, do we take it for granted? And I mean, not in a bad way. We take breathing for granted, but we still know that if we stop breathing, we'll die. So, was it a sense of, I'll get to it. I have to say something. I'll get to it. I just need to finish this important thing, whatever the important thing of the moment is. But shouldn't honoring someone be important enough to do it? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. If we do it in the moment, it can be small and it will still be meaningful. We should acknowledge people while they're alive. While they can receive the acknowledgement, the accolades, the gestures of respect and honor. Grand gestures after somebody has died, I mean, it's touching and it has meaning, but to others. The gestures mean something to others, and that's okay. It means something to the family, the colleagues, the community. But the person who's gone is gone. No matter what honor you bestow on them posthumously, they don't get to experience that. It doesn't have as much impact as it could have had, and certainly not for the person to whom it was meant. Telling someone else how much this person meant, or how important they were, or how much they'll be missed, those are all statements in the past tense. The person is gone. They don't get to hear it. They don't get to know how you felt. We should tell people that we appreciate them, that we value them, when they can actually hear it, so that they can actually know it. So it can mean something to them as well as their family, their colleagues, their community, so that their lives can be better while they're still alive. Acknowledging someone sincerely while they're alive tells them that what they do matter, that they matter. There may be some people who say that they don't need to hear it, but I'll bet that when you tell them in that moment, something inside them will perk up, something will light up. And I'm willing to bet that when you tell them, something inside you will perk up, will light up too. So let's do something about this. We all know someone that we'll say nice things of after they've gone. Let's do it now.